What's up, Facebook? Out on a little afternoon ride here. Right now I'm at Lakewood School, sitting down, chilling, maxing, relaxing, shooting a little b-ball outside of school. Again, you know the story. So, yeah. I had something on my mind, and I thought I would share with you for anyone wanting to get out and ride bikes, but you feel intimidated, maybe by what you wear or the type of bike you might need, how others might look at you in the cycling community. By cycling, I mean road cycling, trails, downhill, BMX, all those different types of riding. First thing I gotta say is, don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about what they're riding. Don't worry about what they're wearing. Don't worry about them looking down on you, because let's face it, it's a bicycle. I don't care if you spend $50 at Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, Kmart, or I don't care if you spend $5,000 at a local bike shop or online. When it all comes down to it, guys, it's a bike. That's it. As I said before, as long as you get a bike that's made for what you're wanting to do, maybe for your skill set, if you're a super beginner, you can get away with something on the very low end. There's no reason to spend a lot of money. You can go on Craigslist and some other bike places online and you can see people selling bikes that they've spent thousands of dollars on. And most of the time they're doing that because they went out and spent $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 on a bike, all the kit, what you wear, all your stuff, and they find out that they don't want to cycle because either they just don't like it, or it's too hard for them, or whatever other excuses they might come up with. So don't be an idiot like those people that think that they have to run out and get the so-called best, or nearly the best, or whatever. It's ignorant. It's the same thing with anything that you get into. Cameras, phones, stereo equipment, cars, shoes, anything. You get what, number one, your budget allows. And if you can, save up just a smidgen bit more. What's your budget? And then wait a little bit longer and save up maybe just a smidgen bit more to get just like maybe that next step up. There's no reason to spend huge amounts of money. And I've always said, especially since I've gotten into cycling, that I have no reason to go above like the $1,000 mark. $1,000, $500 to $1,000 will get you any kind of bike that you're going to need, and it's probably going to serve the purpose just fine. Anything else is for maybe huge skill sets, people that are like doing serious stuff that I'll never do, and that probably most of us here will never do. So don't try to get things just, to keep up with the next guy. That's how Americans especially always have been, keeping up with the Joneses or whatever. And that's just a good way to be disappointed in the end, and to go in more debt in the end, and not be happy with the outcome. So my advice is, buy within reason. If you're gonna buy like a big box store bike, like big box stores like Walmart, Target, Kmart, Toys R Us, stuff like that. If you're going to go to those places, if you know how to work on bikes, make sure you work on it before you ride it. Make sure everything's tight, and even go beyond that. Maybe take the thing apart and clean it and make sure everything's lubed up, greased, oiled, and tight when you put it back together, and just make sure the gears are shifting well, because it's little things like that that's going to throw you off, and you're going to be like going from excited to ride to this sucks. Anytime you have a problem and you're new, you know, and you know you're struggling anyway to try to get yourself out there, it's going to discourage you more if you have problems. So always make sure that your bike is properly set up and ready to ride. That's whatever riding you're doing. Again, you know, road or mountain, trail, BMX, whatever. And that goes with a $50 bike or a $5,000 bike. I've noticed that the two bikes that I've bought from a bike shop, and I'm 100% certain that that's the cause, is that even they didn't make sure things were tight and right out of the box. Because when they get a bike in, it comes in a box. It's almost all the way put together. Most of the time you just got to put the wheel on, you know, like the front wheel or something, and the handlebars and whatever, and the pedals. It's pretty much all put together. And I even I've been to 2 different bike shops now and bought a bike, and the little issue that I had with each bike, one was totally taken care of by one shop, and the other one I kind of had to put out some money to get stuff kind of tuned up and fixed. You know, anytime you ride a bike, a brand new bike especially, there's a break-in period. You're going to break it in. You're going to need to get things tightened up again. You're going to need to get your wheels trued up again, your brakes checked, your gears checked, things kind of checked out and done right. They should do that for free when you buy a bike. One time, you know, that break-in period, they should do for free when you spend that kind of money. But yeah, always check and make sure things are right. And 2, 3, 4, whatever I'm on here, don't worry about keeping up with the clothes, all the spandex, all the different types of suit, skins that you see people wearing and all that stuff. You don't have to have all that. You know, that's not always practical and not always comfortable. I started riding, and I'll be riding that way again as soon as it gets cold, but I started riding in just regular pants, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, jackets, just everyday stuff. And I started riding in the winter. I got my first bike, that Raleigh Redux 1. I got that in February 2016. So it was winter then. I started out riding in multiple layers, regular clothes, and that's why I started wearing a bandana around my right leg to keep the pants tight so they didn't get in the chain, and that's what started that. So don't worry about trying to keep up with everyone. Keep it simple. Remember when you were a kid and riding a bike, it wasn't about necessarily how much you spent and what you looked like and how many miles you're going. It wasn't about taking a certain route. It wasn't about changing up routes. It wasn't about making it so technical, worrying about everything. It's a bicycle. Ride it. It's that simple, enjoy it. If you're just going to ride around your neighborhood, or if you're going to go on a week-long tour, whatever it is that you're going to do, get out and enjoy it. And, spend within your means, and make sure that you know how to do a little bit of maintenance on your bike within means, if not totally. And you'll enjoy it. It's a lot more enjoyable. Just don't put so much stress and importance on looks and prices and brands and whatever else. The things that you're going to get on a more expensive bike, even more expensive than the good ones that I've got, you're going to get typically a lighter bike. You're going to typically get a little bit better drivetrain, you know, your shifters and your gears and that kind of stuff. And once you get into suspension, you're either a hardtail with suspension in the front or a full suspension that has it in the front and the rear. More expensive bikes are going to have a little bit better suspension systems, a little bit more rugged, maybe more active, more, you know, whatever the word is I'm looking for there. But, you know, start out with what you think that you're going to need. And for most people, that's not expensive. Keep it simple, keep it fun. It's a bicycle. Let's keep the community fun and happy and active, and be nice to everyone, regardless of age, gender, color, how much their bike costs, how little their bike costs, what they're wearing, and how they choose to ride. Because it's their life, it's their passion, it's their choice. So everyone, I hope this helped out a little bit, and I hope some of you will get up and go grab you a bike and start riding. As for me, I'm fixing to drink some water and either make my way home or make my way to town. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So as for y'all, and for me as well, get up, get out, get rad, and do it to it. See y'all later.